you worry, you get dull. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
Hey everybody, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Don't Worry, Be Happy. And this is one of those amazing songs. It's just a 3-chord strummer, 3 super easy chord shapes, and a really basic strumming pattern. So even if you're a very beginner, this is a song that you can learn from start to finish, because we just keep doing the same chord progression over and over again. Before we get started, if you want to play along with the original recording after this lesson, you'll have to put a capo on the 4th fret. And if you need any help with the fundamentals of guitar, please don't forget to check out my free ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. It goes over all the basics of acoustic guitar, strumming, everything you need to get started. So there's a link down below for that as well. Otherwise, we're going to get started with the chord shapes. We have G, A minor, and C. And if you're already familiar with those chord shapes, I'll put a timestamp in the corner and you can skip ahead to the next section. Otherwise, we're going to take a bit of a closer look. When switching from G to A minor, they don't share any fingers. So we have to work out an order of operations, the order that we move our fingers, and build that into our muscle memory. We have our G shape, and I like to put down my first finger for A minor first, and then these 2 fingers. So I think about it in 2 parts. Going from G, I go 1, 2. And I want you to try that, even silently, just silently switching to work out that chord switch. And you can really do it in any order you like. The whole point is to be consistent in your movements so that you can build up that muscle memory. The next switch we have is A minor to C. And for that one, they do share a couple fingers. Those 2 fingers stay in the same place. It's just our 3rd finger that has to move. So we have our A minor shape. We lift our 3rd finger and we put it down on the 3rd fret of the A string. And we have to kind of adjust, move our elbow in, adjust our fingers a little bit. And for C, it's nice to have your finger resting underneath the thickest string to mute it. So even if you accidentally strum it, it won't ring out and, mess with the sound of your C chord. And then we have to switch from C back to G. And for that one, once again, there's no shared fingers. So we have an order of operations. From our C chord, first I like to do these 2 fingers and then those 2. So from my C chord, 1, 2. And we just do that silently a whole bunch. 1, 2. Until it starts to work its way into our muscle memory. And if you'd like more help with that, like a guided tour through all the basics, learning songs along the way, I have a complete beginner course that takes you through all these chord switches at your own pace. You can watch them as many times as you like. There's a workbook. There's all this stuff designed to get you from absolute beginner to confident strummer. So I'll put a link down below for that as well if you're interested. Otherwise, we're going to take these chord shapes now and we're going to put them in order so that we can play the main chord progression for this song. Starting off on a G chord, we're going to play downstrokes only and count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Switch to A minor. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Switching to C. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to G. 2, 3, 4. One more time from the top. Starting on G. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the chord progression, and make sure you can do it just like that, counting out loud, slow and steady. And then when you're ready, we can add the strumming pattern, which goes like this. I'll do it slowly. 3 and 4 and So that strumming pattern is the same thing 2 times in a row. You can see up there, root, down, up, root, down, up. And when we break it down, we start off with root, which just means a little downstroke. Instead of strumming all the strings, we're just aiming for the thicker strings. So that's on beat 1, 1, and then on beat 2, down, up. And we basically just play that over and over again, and that's it. That's the entire strumming pattern. But before we put it together with the chords, let's break it down a little bit further. I want to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And when you look, the numbers all line up with downstrokes, and the ands all line up with upstrokes. So when we do just the first half of our pattern, 1 and 2 and see, my arm is moving down and up the entire time. Root, up. Even though I'm not hitting any strings, I'm still moving it up, and then down, up. And if you're having trouble getting the strumming together, I recommend starting with the counting, going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then once you're comfortable with that, we can fill up that 3 and 4 and with more strumming. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we do that till it's comfortable, and then we can gradually speed it up. 1 until eventually we drop the ands. We just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once we're at that point, we get it up to the album speed bit by bit. You want to go slow and accurate. You don't want to speed up your mistakes. And one last thing before we add this to our strumming pattern, there's a swing feel on the recording. So instead of playing it with this type of feel where everything's perfectly even, we're going to go where the downstrokes are a bit longer. 1 and 2. Kind of like a country blues sort of thing, Down, up, down, up. And when you speed it up, that's what you get. That's what you'd do if you were playing along with the recording. Either way, we're going to do this nice and slow. I'm going to get out my metronome here, and we're going to play this really slowly through our chord progression with the strumming pattern. 1, 2, I'm at 80 beats per minute, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's the entire song. You just repeat that chord progression over and over again from start to finish. At this point, I recommend going through this again and working out all the mechanics, cleaning up your switches, making them better and better. And you can use my beginner's course or my free ebook if you'd like extra help with that. And then working on the strumming, counting it out, making it nice and smooth, starting slow. With everything, you start slow and get it as best you can before you do it any faster, or else you just end up speeding up with the same mistakes and you just perfect your mistakes, in a weird way. That's what you end up doing. So, you want to take the time to do it right before you go any faster. Separate it into the chords by themselves using downstrokes only, then the strumming by itself. You could even mute the strings by lightly touching them, and you can practice the strumming like that, Don't forget to check out my free ebook, my complete beginner's course, if you need any extra help. Like and subscribe if you'd like to help support the channel. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.